Presented by Victoria Jonas. Do you believe fashion should engage with political and humanitarian issues? If so, should they design with a level of sensitivity or keep their designs uncensored? Why?
Hi, my name is Professor Mickey Taylor. I work in the Fashion Design Department here at Howard University. I'm also an alumni here. I have two schools of thought on that. My first impression of it is I think that there may be a level of insensitivity with regards to them creating the clothing, but if they are creating the clothing to bring awareness to our social problem and proceeds or a portion or a large amount of the money is going back to help a homeless venture or persons, that could be a opening of a door for a conversation on how to propel forward and alleviate some of the problems.
Hello, my name is Chibuike Chuko. I'm the business development manager for Kelechi African Authentics, which is a family business that specializes in African art and African paraphernalia, clothing, jewelry, and accessories, and artwork, and statue masks, antique masks. I believe that it should be you should be able to speak your mind and promote your views on political views or social views. But I believe the climate of today's world, especially in the U.S. with Trump and cops killings, and you see H&M with the coolest monkey in the world, that it is some type of censorship that should be used in regards to just if it's that blatantly racist or that offensive. But if it should be a middle ground in regards to just keep it simple in regards to just Democrats, Republicans. If you have certain groups that you're a part of that is not as offensive to a certain race or culture or genre.
Is the trend of creating clothing that resembles the lifestyle of low-income, homeless, and refugee people innovative or offensive?
My name is Shantae Flowers. I'm the CEO of Shantae LaBelle Park LLC. I brand myself as Belle Flowers, and I'm a fashion designer. I actually think it's innovative. Me being a designer, I have myself been able to turn, a pair of jeans, which were known as dungarees, which was if you know the history, it comes from construction workers, where a lot of women started wearing the jeans, whereas before they only wore dresses. And then when the men went off to the war, I'm using the example of the jeans as far as being on a lower scale, and then to turn into innovation. I think, it shows that you can be creative aspects when you can do that.
Do you feel fashion brands are glamorizing difficult situations, or are they bringing awareness to issues?
I think that term would be a perspective. I personally just think that, that bringing awareness is more than the glamour. I think fashion is a glamorous industry, so if you choose to have that perspective of it, but I just think that's the world we live in. You can't get away from a person's opinion.
That with fashion, in regards to just it's about creativity. Fashion is art, so it's kind of it's hard for you to even grade something or if it's that bland or simple as being homeless type wear or thing. We make those type definitions. What is homeless wear or not homeless wear, or what is seen as not fashionable, or it's different trends.
If it's going to shine a spotlight in a helpful way, it's innovative. But however, like a lot of other things that have been out on the runway and everything like that, it could be kind of destructive because the very people that you are trying to emulate do have a real problem. And if you're being insensitive to the problem and you absolutely are not bringing attention to their cause or why they're out there or helping change or alleviate their situation, I feel as though that can be like a huge problem. However, some of the silhouettes and designs that the homeless are wearing, I hate to say this, harken back to some of the silhouettes like with the capes and things from like other cultures or our culture. It's just, out of need of being warm. If you go back and look at some of the underbelly people, they have blankets that they wear around their shoulders. So some of that is just out of like just human nature to do that.
Hello, I'm Sally DeMarco, and for the past 40 years I've been teaching fashion design and starting fashion design programs at local colleges. I started the fashion design program at Baltimore City Community College, and I was there for 32 years. I wrote a major textbook in the fashion design field. It's called Draping Basics. I think they're doing a little bit of both. I think they are definitely bringing awareness to the social issues. It's out there, it's in our faces. We see it on Facebook and we see it on other social media outlets. But at the same time, you have to be very careful because they can be very offensive. It's not that much fun to be a refugee and to sort of portray it in your clothing. There are companies that will, like, for example, there's a company, and I have it in my notes, it's called the Slow Factory in Brooklyn, and I really kind of admire them because the person who started the company is also a refugee herself, and what she does is she tries to highlight the cause and to help the cause. So when President Trump had his travel ban and he cited the 7 countries, she put digital pictures of those 7 countries on scarves and started to sell them to sort of make a statement, but a positive statement. There's people like Dolce & Gabbana who they put out their slave shoes or sandals or whatever, and they did it just to make money. They didn't do it to help any cause.
How do you feel about companies naming clothing after struggles or a crisis?
I'm Dr. Miriam Ahmed. I teach graphic design at Howard University in the Department of Arts in DC. So most of the situations that have come up in the media, the reports of the Jesus sandals, the shackle shoes that Nike designed, or was it Adidas? I don't remember. It seems that most of these products are not being designed to bring light to issues. It seems that the people who are designing these products are not really thinking about the effect and the message that's being sent by these products, and not really considering the fact that these products have a very deep historical significance. So it doesn't seem like they're really shedding light on issues, and it doesn't seem like they're intending to do that. It seems like most of them are coming out with products that they think are glamorous. So they're trying to glamorize, but the public especially, not necessarily the media is just reporting it, but the public is backlashing against it. And a lot of the products are being pulled from the shelves, or the names are being changed at the very least.
When clothing that resembles the lifestyle of low-income homeless or refugee people, like distressed clothing, is sold at high prices, why do you think that is?
A lot of the items that are being sold, particularly the ones that are very high pricing, like the Chanel boomerang that happened a few years ago, I think that it's not the issue of these products being priced high. It's not so much connected to the fact that some of these products are cultural appropriation products. It's more to do with the fact that any products by these brands tend to be very high priced. So regardless of whether it's cultural appropriation or not, if it's just a scarf or a pair of flip-flops or just a cotton t-shirt, if it's sold by Gucci, it's going to be $800. So the pricing doesn't really affect the fact that it doesn't make it worse, doesn't make the cultural appropriation worse, I don't think.
Should the companies who profit from creating controversial clothing help the lives of those they pull inspiration from?
Most definitely. They either should give a percentage of what their income, what they're making to these nonprofit groups that are helping different causes. They should be giving back. And again, I have to cite back to the company in Brooklyn, New York, who makes items to help these causes.
My advice to them would be like design with sensitivity. Do not design with the thought of making light of someone's situation. But if that has inspired you, have a heart to know why it inspired you and where could you go from that. So like if you're designing something that you were inspired by the homeless, I would tell them to take it a step further and design something that, you know what, maybe you can market something that is for the homeless, something that is like, for instance, in the not too recent past, one of my students designed a jacket that was actually a backpack, so it folded in and out. That could easily go to a homeless person, since they have to move around. But think of it as, what could you do if you designed that? What monies could be used to actually help a homeless person? Just like you do know that there's an initiative with Tom's the Shoe.
So what do you think? Is it a fashion statement or fashionably offensive?